Warning, the following contains explicit language and subject matter that may not be suitable for younger listeners, church folk, and people who enjoy kale smoothies.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Pod Amongst Men. I'm your host, Steve B., and this is Coffee Break Conversations for the 21st Century. So, my guest today is me. I don't have a guest today because I'm very bad at planning. I should have opened this ahead of time. But, I don't have a guest, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what's going on right now in my life and with the podcast. So, update, I did get some stickers made, if you can see right here. Whether or not I'll be selling them or whatnot, maybe. I don't know. This is a trial run, so if you guys like them, if you guys want them, let me know. If you don't, maybe I'll just keep them. I don't know, but it's up to you. Secondly, I've been thinking a lot about how the podcast has been going. You know, we just released episode 80. That's no small number. I mean, it's, no Joe Rogan here, but, that's a good number of podcasts, and I would like to keep going. But I've been finding it tough nowadays to find guests. I don't want to keep having the same people on all the time. And I need a little feedback from you guys. I don't know what you guys think. You want to hear certain guests? You like certain episodes? That would help a lot. But one of the things I've been thinking about is potentially scouting for a co-host. So, I don't know who that would be. I've had a lot of people in my mind, and a lot of people have been ruled out. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to do it for sure. But the thing is, I don't want to depend all the time on guests, which currently I do, and it makes it very difficult to plan these things and to schedule them, and sometimes you're under the gun all the time, and unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but, in the real world, I have a family, I have a job, I have a lot of other responsibilities. So this still is only a hobby. So I don't want the content to suffer. I don't want to just be getting random people just because I'm stuck and I'm up against the clock, and I don't want to really do episodes like this all the time because I don't think I'm that interesting. And I really don't think any of you think that either. But for those of you listening, I'm just having a sip of an adult beverage, a.k.a. Omega Red Stripe right here. But I don't want the podcast to be shitty. I want it to get better and better. And I'm thinking maybe adding another element, like a consistent co-host, would be the way to go. It would make it a little more easier to be consistent with the podcast. I haven't missed that many weeks, but sometimes I do, and sometimes you have a week like this where it's just me rambling into the abyss. But I'm thinking maybe it could be an idea, and I'm still looking. I'm just trying to figure out who would even be the right fit, and if they would want to do it or not. I don't know. So that's something I've been toying around with for a little while now. So, I don't know if any of you guys follow me on Instagram. Maybe you noticed I was a little quiet over the weekend. So I spent the weekend in Niagara Falls with the family. Not my idea for the trip. It was my wife's. But she had never been there. None of us have. And she thought it would be cool for, Labor Day weekend. The whole family goes up there. Now, personally, I wasn't the most excited. I'm sure she would attest to that. She would confirm it. I just figured, I don't know. I'm the kind of guy where, these big sites, these tourist attractions, you see them in pictures, you see them in the movies and in books and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, well, I've seen this a million times on the screen and, on a picture. Why do I need to go see it in real life? What is there to make me want to go there in person? That's always my question. Why go there in person when you could just see the same exact thing, on the TV? And that's kind of my rule of thumb for going places. So, my wife might be a little upset with me, but the whole thing is I was like, what is there to see? All the cool stuff is in Canada, on the Canada side. And currently the border's closed, which it was. So I didn't want to go, but we went. That's how these things kind of pan out usually. And if any of you are looking for advice on whether or not you should go, I would say don't go. And I bet you now my wife would say the same thing. It was, the hotel was expensive because it was a holiday weekend. You have, not to mention the hotel, the service was subpar to say the least. It was in a nice location, but it was just, it wasn't worth the money. It wasn't that nice. And then you get to the falls where all the stuff's supposed to go down. And it's just a mass of people. There's just people everywhere. Social distancing be damned. It's like they never heard of it. People are wearing masks, but, we're going to keep 6 feet apart, except for this guy that I'm bumping into and this lady that is bumping into me and the 16,000 other people standing around me. It was nuts. And then, if you guys are familiar with it, they have a boat that basically goes right up to the falls, like, real close. And, you get sprayed, everybody gets wet, you wear a poncho. It's a good time, I guess. It's called the Maid of the Mist. So you have to buy tickets for this boat. You can't just walk on. So you go online, figure, speed up the process, buy a ticket. So we bought tickets for the whole family. We get there, see a massive line. And we're like, good thing we bought tickets. Then we wouldn't have to wait in this fucking line. Well, you go up to the person who's apparently working there. There's a lot of people kind of standing around shouting things into megaphones and not really helping anyone. And we said, all right, we bought our tickets. We have a barcode. Like, where do we go? They're like, oh, well, if you got here earlier, we would check you in and you would get in this line. The problem is these tickets we only sell the tickets for the entire season. They're not for a set day or time. So right now, currently, as it stands, we're totally booked up for the day. The boat only goes out every 30 minutes, and we're full up. So you bought tickets? Too bad. He didn't say that. I said that. I added that part in. So shit out of luck now. Can't get tickets. We're only here, for today, for one day. So now we have to go try to get reimbursed for it. And I'm sure they probably count on people just saying fuck it and eating, the cost of those tickets, and then, hey, they made out. But then it's like there's people working there, and these, like, some of them are relatively young. I would say like less than 30. And it's like you're trying to ask them the questions. Like, okay, so where do I go? There's really no signage. Like, there's just a million people walking around and nobody knows what the hell to do. And there's these two people standing in like a little fenced off tent kind of thing, kind of answering questions and like keeping back as if we're a bunch of farm animals, which realistically people at a tourist attraction generally act like. Yeah, and then instead of just answering a question and talking to you like a human being with dignity and respect, they just kind of talk past you. Like, well, they don't even say, well. They just say, well, we are sold out for the day. Like, I'm standing right here looking at you, and you're talking right over here, right past me. It's really infuriating. So we are sold out for the day. Come back tomorrow, and if you get here in time, you can get... Clearly, you guys have no interest in actually helping people. You just, I don't know, maybe them working there in that environment, for all that time, just dealing with a bunch of idiotic tourists, just kind of numbs you to everything. You don't even care. You're not even talking to them like a human being. And why would you care? Because they don't act like human beings half the time. I was acting like a human being, and I was a little offended by it. So I'm going to write a few angry tweets, and maybe I can get somebody canceled over there. That might make me feel a little better. I don't know. So, yeah, that was Niagara Falls. Of course, me and my wife tried to have a nice little night with the two of us, a little romantic evening. Figured, we'll hang out, have a few drinks. They have a big, the Niagara River is right behind where our hotel is, and the hotel is on the river. And they have these nice little wooden chairs with like fire pits set up kind of all throughout this kind of yard area. So we figured we'll have a nice romantic evening. We'll hang out there, have a few drinks. So we go back up to the room. We said, hey, maybe we can get room service, get some dessert, do our thing. And, so we ordered dessert. Like 2 hours goes by. Finally, I have to call back. It comes up, and it's the wrong shit. They brought us somebody else's stuff. So I have to tell them, like, this ain't ours. Send us up ours. Give me my shit. And, of course, another hour goes by. Now the restaurant's closed, so nothing ever comes up. So I had to make a executive decision. I brought the wrong food. I brought it back down to the restaurant where people were there cleaning up. I said, listen, this isn't mine. Take it off my fucking bill. I'm going to 7-Eleven and I'm buying an oatmeal cream pie, which I did. I bought a little prepackaged cherry pie for the lady. And it wasn't what we wanted, but it made do. Kind of had a nice evening. It was nice just to hang out, the two of us, like a married couple. I know a lot of you married fellas and ladies can attest. You get married, you have kids, and kind of the marriage comes second, The kids end up coming first. It's a human life, It's your responsibility to take care of the kid. Understandable. But, a lot of people, they get so wrapped up in the parenthood aspect that they forget to be a husband and a wife. And especially, I would think older generations, you see it, or maybe it's just seeing people that have been together for so long that happens. But it's really a thing that happens. And it's something that I try to be mindful of. And I see in myself how easy it is to just kind of get complacent and be like, yeah, come home, do the same shit all the time. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard this, but there's kind of like a saying. People have this philosophy, like they say, "Oh, how do you stay, happy in a marriage? How do you do that over a long period of time?" And a lot of guys will say, "Well, you have to date your wife." And you think, "I don't know. What do you mean? I already dated my wife. That's how I got her to marry me in the first fucking place." But what they mean is, you have to, all the stuff you do in the beginning, all the things you do when you're still dating, when you're trying to impress her and you're trying to make her fall in love with you. That's the stuff you need to keep doing. And I know, like, some guys are probably thinking, like, well, that sounds exhausting. It's like, I get it. It's not always easy. And, life grinds you down, man. It really, it takes its toll on you. It kills your spirit after time. You have a shitty job, maybe. You have a job maybe you just don't love. But doing the same thing over and over, just existing as a human being, especially in fucking this dumpster fire of a year, 2020, it's hard. It's hard to find the presence of mind to still do things. Look at this. We're in a quarantine. Can't just go out on a date all the time. But it's little things, it's the little things you did to make your partner fall in love with you that you need to keep doing. And those are the things that I think make a happy marriage. And let me just throw this out there as a disclaimer. I am not perfect. Sometimes I fuck this up. Okay? This is a conversation my wife and I have had before. It's very easy to get complacent, to just get, sedentary. You just sit around, you come home, you take a shower, you lay on the couch, you fall asleep, get up, go to bed, and then you get up and go to work and do it all over again. Like, that's the routine that some of us fall into. I do that some days, sure. But you can't make that the norm. Because then, why even be married at that point? Because then you're you have a kid, like, you're a parent, okay, but like, what happened to the marriage? What if you guys never had kids? What would you be doing? How would you be treating that person? These are things you have to keep in mind. And it's easy to forget them. And like I said, I'm not perfect. My wife's not perfect. None of us are perfect. But as long as we're trying and keeping it in our heads, that's my little diatribe on how to keep a happy marriage. I don't know. I've only been married 3 years. So what the hell do I know? Maybe don't listen to me. Maybe do listen to me, and maybe it works, and then you'll thank me later. I don't know. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys know this, but me and my son, we started doing I made a YouTube channel for him. And he's obviously the star. It's called Dimension Boy. So it's, if your kids like kids playing video games online, then maybe you like it. Check it out. YouTube at Dimension Boy. But I was conflicted on whether or not he was, I don't want to say, I guess, old enough to have a YouTube channel. But then me and my wife decided, we were like, yeah, well, it's not like he's going to be running it. He's not going to be answering comments. He's literally just, the star of the show. And then, he could tell his friends he's a YouTuber and then actually have videos to prove it. So, we made a few of those. It's fun. He enjoys it. He loves, being able to say, oh, I check out my YouTube video, which is cool. But I just get nervous with stuff like that. Even taking pictures, posting pictures of the family online. I just get creeped out, man, because some people are weird, and I don't know, maybe I attract some weirdos. I'm not saying, you guys are weirdos, but maybe other people are weirdos that might be listening, if that makes sense, or watching. My point being, I get weirded out putting pictures of the kid online for strangers to see, because why is that necessary, Why is it necessary for strangers to watch my son playing My Hero Academia on Nintendo Switch? I don't know. But he likes it. And so far, I think it's been pretty harmless. And it gives him something to do. It's something for me and him to do. One thing that I've been struggling with the whole quarantine thing is he's home all day in the house. And I'm at work. I can only do so much. And, I get home and I don't know what it is, man, but I've been exhausted lately, and I want to give him something to do. I don't want him just sitting home being stagnant, playing video games with, he's playing with other kids, luckily, so he's actually talking with other kids, and he's not just being completely solo. But even still, it's not the same thing. We took him to the park last week, the week before, and me and my wife, and we have her cousin staying with us right now. And, the four of us just ran around. I wore gym clothes, and I went there with the intention of just, dripping sweat because it was crazy hot, and I'm pretty chunky right now. So sweat I did. But he had a great time. And he wasn't sitting on the computer or on the phone or on the Switch. He was out running around, having fun, climbing shit, jumping off shit, running around. And I want to do more of that. So if you guys listened to the episode I did with Dr. Madeira, he had a great idea. And, you work out with your kids, which sounds weird at first. It sounds like a stupid idea, but when you break it down, it's actually pretty genius. If I go out running, I could run to the park, say, where there's a jungle gym and a swing set. I could bring him there with me because there's two of them, and they're not that far away, although one of them might be a little far for him to run. But it'd be good because I help him get in shape too. Sitting home playing video games is not probably the best way to lead an active lifestyle for a kid. So you go there, he's swinging around, and you do the monkey bars with him. You work on doing pull-ups and all kinds of calisthenics and stuff. But you get him involved. You go run around, kick the soccer ball around the field for a while. All you do is run and chase the ball. Not complicated. He'll have a great old time. And then you're probably ready to die at the end because you're exhausted. But you worked out. You did something. You exercised. And you did something with the kid. You had some quality time. You actually did something active with him. Got him up out of that stagnation. And I really love that idea. And I know I said that on the episode, but I really want to reiterate that for anybody listening. I really think that's a great idea. And it's killing two birds with one stone, Everybody, I'm sure plenty of you guys, you want to go work out, but you feel guilty. The kids are waiting for you. You're already working all day, and you got to spend, another 2 hours, maybe longer, away from them. This is a good, happy medium, I think. So I'm going to really try to work on that. I don't know, if you guys listen to that episode, again, with Dr. Madeira, I really think that a lot of the shit he was talking about, the low testosterone and stuff, he made me think, oh, geez. I think a lot of those apply to me. And I've really been feeling it. I don't know if I'm just getting old, if it really is like a low T thing. But it kind of freaked me out because a lot of those symptoms that he was naming, I have clearly been feeling those for quite some time. My wife even said something. And it's not the bedroom stuff before you ask, all right, you fucking wise asses. But it's, being tired, feeling like low motivation. That was a big one that surprised the shit out of me. I didn't think that would have had anything to do with it. But I have noticed that. Like, things that I used to love, I sometimes now just feel like, I don't even care anymore. And, so I'm supposed to go get checked out and do like a physical and try to get that test done at the doctor's office. But, because I'm a lazy piece of shit and I don't hit, I haven't made an appointment yet. So I don't know yet. And I really have to do it. And I keep reminding myself to do it, and I haven't done it. But we'll get there. Anyway, so I don't have a lot more for you guys today. Again, like I said, I'm thinking about doing the co-host thing, but I don't have anybody. And they would need somebody local. Obviously, I want somebody who could be here in person, and I need somebody who thinks like me, but not too much like me. You know what I mean? I need somebody who's a little different than me. I need somebody I could bounce shit off of that doesn't necessarily always agree with me, but at least someone I can trust, has a good faith way of thinking. Somebody who's honest about the way they think. Don't give me bullshit reasons. I can't handle that. But I'm thinking about it. I'm still scouting. So, I think that's just going to be it. This is going to be a short one, just so I don't leave you completely empty-handed. Next week, we will have a regular episode again. That's it, guys. So, as always, you know where to find us. APodAmongstMen@gmail.com. APodAmongstMen on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We're watching it right now. Or if you're listening wherever you get your podcasts. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Stitcher. Wherever you get your podcast, you will find A Pod Amongst Men. And let me know if you guys are interested in the stickers. Here they are. These are a little small. I don't know. I'm thinking about upsizing the next batch. But, let me know if you guys are interested. You want to buy them, help out the podcast, because, I don't have to pay for studio time, but I did have to pay for a studio, and I would like for it to not go to waste. So any little bit helps. I'm not going to do a Patreon thing. I'm not going to put anything behind a paywall because it's not that good to begin with, and I don't think it deserves to be paid for. But if you want to do a little bit to help out, hey, it goes a long way. So let me know if you're interested. All right, guys. See you next week. Peace.